Hello, everybody. My name is Christopher Saunders, and this is the Connecticut Sports Talent Show, where we talk all things talent in Connecticut. And on tonight's show, I'm pleased to have on the running back and also linebacker from Glastonbury, Jack Petrone, who is also a fantastic skier from who I just was able to find out just a few minutes ago. Jack, I really appreciate you coming on. This should be a lot of fun.
Hey, thank you, Chris.
Uh, before before we get into the football aspect, you're also a baseball player. You ski, football. I mean, it sounds like you play sports at will. Was that something that you were always doing even at a younger age?
Oh yeah, I was always just. I would love to be outside when I was younger, just
Mhm.
playing. I never really liked to be around the TV or inside, so I just found love in all the sports outside. I did soccer. I did pretty much everything. I did a little gymnastics. So like I just love sports and being outside and playing with other kids and competing.
Do
It's
you
just in my.
feel do you feel like the gymnastics part kind of has allowed your athletic ability because obviously doing gymnastics you have to be flexible. There's other aspects too, I'm sure you'll explain. But do you feel like that helped you as an athlete?
Uh To be honest, I don't really remember it. I did it when I was really little. So like I I I assume it helped me with all that stuff, but to tell you the truth, I can't really remember.
You know what? Let's say that it helped. We'll just go
It
with that. It sounds good.
helps.
So, as you were maturing, just by ranking of sports, if you can remember, what was your favorite sport that you played growing up? And then has that kind of shifted at all as you've now gone into your now senior year with Glastonbury?
Yeah, well, it's always been the top 3: football, skiing, and baseball. And it was really hard for me to pick a favorite one, so I just been telling people since I was little, whatever season it is the one I like the best.
I like that. That's very, very smart. I think again, you want to make sure you focus and give the sport and the coaches and the players the, never to look ahead, always to look at what's in front as far as the season. Right now it's football season. You're focused on football.
Right.
Skiing and obviously baseball have their own. So there's the
Mhm.
benefit there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Right after football, skiing, I get into that right after football, I get into that skiing mindset. Just
Mm.
immediately after, I'm hyped to ski. I'm missing it. You know, just
Was there any sort of role models that you had growing up or anybody that you felt like kind of helped your progress as a young athlete?
well, when I was younger skiing, I used to ski with all the older kids because I was a pretty good skier for a young age, and I met this guy named Jeremy Bloom, and he actually played at the University of Colorado for football, and he went to the Olympics for skiing. So he was kind of my role model for a while, and I've just been telling everybody since I've known him that I want to be like him.
So he not only was able to accomplish his dream of getting what he could out of skiing, and you mentioned to the highest levels,
Yeah,
he also played Division 1 football. Do you
exactly.
feel like it not to again, I don't wanna compare and be like, "Oh, you're in the same boat." I feel like everybody has their own lane, their own alley to get to hopefully the promised land. Do you feel like, uh, what he did is kind of something that you cannot copy, but it allows you to see what he was able to do because you're in the same boat as far as you're a top-notch skier. You're a fantastic football player. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, I definitely see the connections there, and it's always been my dream just to be like him. So I think we're part of the way there. We just gotta follow through and continue with it.
Now, have you been able to stay in contact with him or no?
Not really. It was kind of he didn't really know me. I kind of just saw him, was like, "Whoa, that's Jeremy Bloom," and he kind of just sparked it.
But, even in doing that, were you able to just talk to him when you were younger just to maybe pick his brain? I mean, what was that like, your conversations with him?
I never really got to talk to him, but I got to talk to somebody else who his name was Tom Wallish, and he was in the same exact boat, but he decided to drop football and just pursue skiing. And I actually beat him in a duel, and I kind of forced him into retirement of skiing, kind of. And we just been talking about that football and kind of skiing aspect and how it helps you and it connects.
Mhm.
And he said being a dual athlete just helps you in every aspect. multi-sport, multi-everything. It just all the talents bring together.
And, it shows in obviously what you've been able to do for the last, 2+ years. I know obviously COVID affected a year where you missed football. I know baseball was affected. Now, did COVID affect skiing at all too? Because I've never talked to somebody who skied of which COVID was around at the time. Did it affect it at all?
Oh yeah, it affected us big time. We usually go all over the country, all over the world, and we couldn't do that because of COVID. All the airports were shut down, all the borders were shut down. We have a lot of training and competitions in Canada. We couldn't even get into Canada because
Mhm.
of all the restrictions and stuff. So it was kind of a weird year. We kind of stayed at home for the most part up in Killington, and just trained, tried to get better that whole year.
So what was, being a skier as you just mentioned, you're traveling, it sounds like pretty far to, places that I can't even name. What's the what's the coolest place that you've been to? It could be a town, could be a state, could be another country, could be where you skied, wherever.
Yeah, definitely the coolest has to be Tavistock, Finland. We went there last year for a competition, or we went there for two competitions last year, and we had a little road trip. It was just an amazing experience. We got to see Europe, all the different cultures out there. It was really cool.
Were you able to speak their language or pick up on it or no?
No, I'm not that smart. I couldn't do that. I had a friend that was blonde, and they all talked to him in Finland and Swedish because
Mhm.
they thought he was one of them, and it was pretty funny though. He couldn't understand anything either.
That's really cool though to be able to, I've always believed that it's always good to come out of your shell as far as expanding your horizons. As far as, if you're comfortable being in a certain spot, that's great. But being so young as you are, it's always good to explore. Go to different countries if you can. Go outside the state. I mean, I know so many people that stay in one state and never really know what the world is like as far as in other states in the USA. Do you feel like you being able to have the ability and being so good at skiing and being able to do everything that you have, it's kind of helped you with you being so young as far as seeing what's around other than Glastonbury, Connecticut. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like my friends at school, they're always asking me, like, "Whoa, how is Utah? How is Colorado? How's Canada?" Like, because they've never been there, they don't know what it's like. They only know Glastonbury, everywhere around it, Connecticut.
Mhm.
Uh, and I always tell them it's great. Like, you meet so many new people. All the cultures are completely different, but no matter where you go, and you kind of just get a sense of what everybody else is like in the world, how different people like react and do things. It's just completely different.
Now, I want to compare skiing and football for a minute. Now, obviously, for people who know about playing multi sports, I've always believed that in playing baseball, it helps with certain aspects when it comes to football. Football, I don't know if that equates to skiing. Skiing, I feel like there's more to compare as far as helping with football. Do you feel like those sports kind of bounce off each other as far as kind of help, one hand washes the other?
Yeah. Skiing is all legs pretty much. So I had to work on my leg strength. My flexibility is also key in skiing, and all of that transitions well to football and baseball. Just that extra flexibility is a big part of why I think I did well this year. Just
Mhm.
being flexible, being able to get in positions, not getting hurt as much too. That's a big thing. Uh, yeah.
Coming into this season, it was the first time since, well, I think it was the 2019 football season where you guys had back-to-back football off seasons where COVID wasn't affecting it. Do you feel like that kind of, or even before I ask you that, do you feel like that it kind of helped, uh, you know, your growth as a football player being able to have back-to-back off seasons and not having COVID interrupt that?
Yeah, I think it helped. Like, we kind of got disoriented during COVID. Everybody went their separate ways. Nobody kind of knew what to do.
Mhm.
Uh, some of the parents were like very strict, so some of the kids couldn't get out and like practice or anything. So that off season, we all got together. We got a lot closer as a group. I think we just got better. We learned how to work together.
Do you feel like that kind of helps with what you guys are doing this season? I mean, right now in Double L, which is a gauntlet of a class, you guys are in eighth place right now. You have Maloney and Simsbury left. If you win one of two or win both, you win both, you're definitely in. You win one of two, you're in regardless. It's just a question of where the seating would be. Looking back on it for a second, do you feel like what you guys have done, did during the off season and the buildup is now producing what we are seeing right now?
Yeah. Last year we were always in it first half. Like it was always 14-14, 14-7, something at first half. We can never close out the games. We'd always be losing it in the fourth half or the fourth quarter.
Mhm.
And I think that off season, the after last year, we all put in our mind, we were like, we don't want another season like that. That sucked. Losing 8 games, oh, it takes a toll on you. And we kind of got together as a group, put in the work, and decided this season's going to be way different.
So, what did you guys do to make such a drastic jump from losing 8 games to currently right now, only losing two? But like you said, the second halves are where things started to go awry. And you mentioned the fourth quarter. What changed from last year to this year?
We got a lot more people at the off season workouts and conditioning sessions. We were kind of on everybody a lot more this year now that we were seniors to get in the weight room and get out on the turf to run. We also had like captain's practices, not really, but kind of.
Mhm.
I'll just go to the turf, run some plays, throw the ball around. And we had a great show out for passing league, which is also key. We never had that before.
The numbers that you're putting up this year, man, are I think a lot of the reason why you guys are there. Now I know obviously the team aspect and there's other players I'm sure you'll mention, but do you ever sit back and realize that what you are doing is one of the better seasons that Connecticut high school football has had seen as far as individually, but your performances are helping the rest of the team and almost like it's like, okay, guys, jump on my back. I'm going to help carry you literally as a running back. Do you ever feel that?
Uh, a little bit, but I tend to just push it to the side. I'm kind of just doing the best I can to help the team win.
Mhm.
Winning is probably my biggest priority. I was crying after every game. Every game we lost last year, I couldn't deal with another season like that. So I took it upon myself to just do everything I can to not have another season like that and put the guys through that again.
Would you say that thus far you have individually been able to accomplish the goals that you set out for your senior season?
At the moment, no. My goal for the senior season was to win a state championship, and we're not going to know that until the end of the year.
But as far as, aside from the state championship, was there anything else that you said, I want to accomplish this, and that? Was there anything that you did, or was it just the state championship and that's it?
Uh, Kind of only the state championship. I wasn't really thinking about yards, touchdowns, or anything.
Mhm.
Uh, I just wanted to win. That's pretty much our goal here.
So when you see the numbers that you're putting up, do you like, is it almost like you take yourself back a little bit? Like, I'm really doing this. Do you ever think about that?
Sometimes, but not really. I would say. I kind of just look at it. I'm like, wow, that was a good game. Let's do better next game. Like, only way up is up from here. Like this week, I only had 100 yards rushing. That could kind of put me down. I'm like, I've been rushing for 200 every game. I should be up there. So I'm gonna work my ass off in practice this week. Try to get back up there.
Only 100 yards. I know some running backs. I've done games where running backs can't even get 50. So 100's not that bad. Maybe it's a little different for you because you're getting a couple hundred yards a games, it sounds like 200, 300 yards a game.
I mean, yeah, I got myself on a high standard here.
That's okay. Shoot high, aim high, and then when you don't get there, if you don't, it just drives you and makes you want it more. You know what I mean?
Motivation.
Exactly. Now, Jack, before I let you go, and I really appreciate you coming on, it's a lot of fun to being able to talk with you. as far as the Glastonbury program as well. Couple games left, as I mentioned. You got Maloney, who's coming off a big time win, game winning field goal against Southington. And then you got Simsbury, who's not having the best of seasons, but still, Coach Masters always has those boys ready to play. Um, what is the mindset as far as going into these last two games, knowing that A, you win one of two, you're in. You win both, you're definitely in. But we're getting to that point now where it's where are we seeding? Playoffs are just around the corner. What says you?
Uh, I say take it one game at a time. We're gonna do everything we can this week to focus up for Maloney. We know they're big. We know they're fast. They got a bunch of corners and safeties that are really good, and we're just gonna have to play perfect. And that's all I'm thinking of. Just one game at a time. See if we can do it.
Jack, I appreciate you coming on. A lot of fun as always being able to talk with anybody from Connecticut high school football, but obviously somebody who is a multi-sport and sounds like I could see you in the Olympics if you end up going that route for skiing in a couple of years. But hopefully you're able to accomplish your dreams and best of luck the rest of this season.
Hey, thank you. I
No
appreciate it.
problem. No problem. That wrap things up here in the Connecticut Sports Talent Show. So until next time, stay safe. And our CT stands for Connecticut Talent. I'm Jerry. Find them all. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody, and be well.